Hello and welcome. So today we are back with another video, and today is actually going to be about our Disney pin trading books. So I do plan on doing a video that shows the entire Disney pin collection that we have, but for now I just want to talk about the pin trading options that you have whenever you go to the parks. So, and it's not just the parks. I say parks and people say parks all the time, but it's not just pin trading in parks. So when you go to Disney, you have the ability to do pin trading. What it is you have Disney, authentic Disney pins. So they will be pins that have the Disney information on the back of them. So this is an example of what you will see where it has like the authentic Disney pin trading logo, or it just has copyright Disney on the back. Those are the pins that you're allowed to trade when you go to Disney. So Disney pin trading is a lot of fun, and it is a way to take off some of the stress and the pain of waiting in line for rides. I absolutely love to go to theme parks and go on the ride, so I'm definitely one that will stand in line for hours waiting to go on a 3-minute ride or even a 1-minute ride. So that's definitely not that I'm saying anything bad about it. I love going it through the queues of the rides and things like that. So there's always something fun to do and to look at while you're waiting. But some days you just don't want to have to go through the hassle and the stress and the just waiting around. You want to do something a little bit different. Pin trading is something that you can do that is a lot of fun. So each time we go to Disney, we try to go to Character Warehouse or try to find some of the sales that they're having to get some pins for trading. And that is definitely my recommendation if you're going to get into pin trading, is that you go and try to find some of the cheapest pins that you can that are Disney, authentic Disney, for trading purposes. So I recommend going there. I don't recommend buying most of these off of like eBay or anything like that, because there are a lot of fake pins out there and they will get your money and you are not getting anything real for it. Disney pins are very expensive in the parks, but if you take the time to go to Character Warehouse before you go into the parks, you will be able to find pins for a fraction of the price if they have any available on sale. And I recommend starting there. When you also go for your first time, you can go and take a few pins to just kind of get started with, and you can trade them numerous times. So you can go to different places with pins, and if you find one that you like better than the ones you have, you can trade them. You can trade up to 2 pins per person per location, and that's per day. So just know that when you go, you may not find exactly what you're looking for, but don't just trade just to be trading. Make sure it's one that you love, whether it's real or not. I recommend that you at least make sure that you're on the lookout, but just know if you leave one on a board or on a pin trader pouch, that it's most likely not going to be there when you come back. So if you really think you want it for your collection, I recommend that you go ahead and trade for it. I have been doing this for many years, so I try to get some of the starter sets every time that I can when they're on sale, and I also get a lot of them from Character Warehouse, so that my collection is quite large, but I also don't have a ton of money invested in them. I have a ton of money invested in them, not gonna lie, but I don't have as much invested in them as I would if I were to buy them all at the actual sticker price. So I wanted to also talk to you about some of the options that you can find on them. So not all pins are made equally. So this is a Rafiki pin that is one of the ones that I was able to find on a pin board one day when I was there, and this happened a while back. But this is a Rafiki pin, and if you look at the back of this Rafiki pin, you will see up here on the staff, and I'm going to try real hard to get this to where you can see it. And please ignore my nails because they need to be redone. But I don't know if you can see that or not. But if you look real close, it has an AP etched in it right there. It's real hard to see. But if you can see it with the naked eye in person, then you'll be able to see it for sure. But there is an AP right there. What that means is that's an artist proof. And so this is one that was basically made by the artist, and they are going to accept it and they're going to use it in making their actual pin sets for sale. It's always good to find things like this to be able to add to your collection, and don't trade them. Keep them in your collection, because things like this, they're pretty hard to find, but when you do find them, they're so nice to have. So that is one of the APs. There's also another one that you can get, and I was looking, I thought maybe I had some just here on hand, but I don't. But they actually will have a PP on the back of them, and what those are pre-production. And those are other ones that you want to look for, and they're just going to be etched into the back of the pin. And if you find any of those, you want to keep those in your collection as well, because those are not things that you find all the time. They're kind of rare. And so that's something that if you find them, you might want to keep them. So back to going to the park. So I have tried many different ways to be able to take pins to the park, and I do not recommend putting pins in a bag with a back on them or without a back on them and pulling them out to trade them. One, it's going to damage your pins by doing that, but two, it's just not a good way to be able to keep up with what you have. So if you're going to get into pin trading, I really recommend that you get a pin trading book, and they are not all made equally. So when you go to do pin trading, I really recommend that you get an actual pin trading book. Disney does sell some of these, and they're not all great. They're not all great quality. They're not all easy to manage and to hold on to and all that. So definitely be aware of what you're getting and put some thoughts and concerns into it before you actually invest the money, because a lot of times whenever you get things like that, you can't get your money back. Even if you try to resell them, a lot of people know that they're just not the best way to do it, and you're just not going to get your money back out of it. So I have definitely done my research, and I have tried different companies, and the one that I recommend is going to be Pinfolio. Now, Pinfolio has a whole background of information that you can get, and they have a website, so pinfolio.com, and you will see that these pin books were actually created by siblings for trying to find a way for them to be able to keep up with their pins and trade without them getting damaged, lost, and to be able to keep up with what they actually have. So there are a lot of pins that you can get that are collections, and a lot of people, once they start them, they want to try to find the entire collection. And so getting things like this, it will help you be able to keep them together and to be able to see what you have while you're out and about doing your trading. So I actually have invested and gotten a lot of different ones. So I kind of have a little rhythm of what I do whenever I go to pin trade. So if I know I'm going to be there for a long time, like a week or more, and I'm just going for a pin trading book, I have the largest pin trading book, was the Pinfolio Max Show. And I love these books. So these come with straps to where you can wear them as a crossbody or just as just a bag. But I love the fact that they have the straps on them like that. I love these because they have the zipper backs on them. So these are really good for like backer cards. If you buy a pin in the store and you want to display it here, but you don't want the backer card in there, you can take the backer card off and put all your backer cards in here and your pin backs, and then you can display them proudly at the ones that you just got. But I also love that I can see everything in here, and you can see that I have these kind of going around like this because it's kind of showing like where I am as far as like collections go of what I'm doing in the parks. And so when I go, I just kind of try to keep them together. And anytime I get a new pin, I put it in the front part where I know I don't want to trade that day. I want to wait until I go back and look at them to be able to see if I really want to keep that collection and keep going. Sometimes I have to actually go online to look to see what the collection looks like in person. But you can see it has this clear cover on the front of it, and that helps to keep your pins protected. This is what the inside looks like, and it's just kind of like a foam board, but it's hard. And these things are pretty heavy. So they're not recommended, really, I wouldn't think, for like smaller kids, because this is heavy. So if you have a small kid taking this with you, just be prepared for you to carry it for them, because when you start adding pins to this, it gets hefty. And so these are some of the pins that I have. Like, these are my trader pins. So I do have some really good trader pins, and then I have some that I have a lot of duplicates of. Now, I don't know that I'm actually going to trade all of these that are in this book. I don't have the entire sets of some of these. Like, I don't have the entire sets of the coffee cups, and I don't have the entire set of the fanny packs. And I'm possibly thinking about starting those collections. So I have them in here because I do have duplicates of some. So I could trade some of the duplicates, but the other ones I may end up keeping. So yeah, that's just kind of the way I do that until I know what I want to do and I'm prepared to do that. So I just kind of keep those in here because I don't normally take this one with me when I go. Like I said, it just depends on like the day and what's going on. Now, I do also have the one that's a little bit smaller than that. And I say a little bit, it's quite a bit smaller. So this is the Max Show, and then this is the next size one. So you can see the difference in the sizes here. So this is the Pinfolio Show. Now, these are ones that we actually found while we were at Disneyland. I haven't taken these out yet because I'm not exactly sure how I'm going to display them. And so I just tend to do that sometimes. And you can see I do have some duplicates in here. So some of these will go into my traders, but then some of these will end up into my collections because we do have quite a bit of the collections that are in here. And then some of these were just different. I had never seen them before. Like the pumpkin one on the front, I had not seen it. And I know some of these are not real because you can just tell by the paint on them. And that's a whole nother story. But if you look at a pin and you're trying to figure out if it's real or fake, then look for like the paint to see whether or not it is dipped or whether or not it is flat. A lot of times your dipped ones are going to be fake pins to where your flat enamel on the top, your flat coloring on the top is going to be real. So that's just kind of a starter of that to give you an idea. But this book actually is a good size, especially for just really getting started out good. It's not as heavy as that Max Show, but it's still a good size. So you can hold quite a few pins in here. And these are a lot of the ones that we found while we were in Disneyland as well. So you can just kind of see what we got. And some of these I do know are not real. But for the biggest part, I think most of these are. So, yeah. And then this one also does have the zipper part on the back of it to where you can put pin backs and the backer cards and things in here as well. So, I really do like these. The one thing I can say is, because it has this clear vinyl on the front of it, try to make sure you keep this in not a super hot temperature because that is going to possibly warp. I've not had it happen yet, but I've also been super careful with these. I don't leave these out in the sun. If I'm going anywhere with them, say we're on one of the friendship boats and we're going from like Disney Springs over to the French Quarters to get beignets, then if I have it out, I will sit it next to me on the seat and I will put it upside down like this to where that vinyl is not in the sun. So that's just kind of what I do. So I just try my best to protect my pens as much as possible. So then I have 4 of these other ones. I thought I actually had more than 4. I'm not going to lie, but I guess I have 4. So this is the size that I really recommend. It's getting started in pen trading and it's your first time to go and you don't have a lot, because these make perfect sizes for being able to go for like a day. And so I will take these with me. So this is the small pen folio. I don't think these are actually called anything other than just the pen folio. So these are small squares, and at first I thought these would be just a waste of money and they weren't going to hold very much, and I needed to just go with a bigger size, which is what I did. I bought the larger size before I bought the smaller size. But then after going to the parks, I realized that these are actually perfect for daily pen trading. So I take my big one with me, at least one of my larger ones with me, and I will leave it like in my bag that's staying in the room. And I will take these with me and I will put traders inside of here. I'll fill the inside of this up with traders. And then as I trade them, I put the ones that I want to keep on the front. I go to the park, I will actually take it with no pins in it. So this is the pink one. It has no pins in the front of it. This will have 0 pins in the front when I go. I will have all of my trader pins on these 2 pages, okay? So as I start trading, I'll start on this back page here, and I'll trade the pins on this page only. As I trade them for ones I want to keep, I will put them in this front cover and fill this up. Then, as I get to where this one is completely empty, then the new pins that I'm trading, I will take from this page and trade, but my new pins I'm getting will go onto this back page, so that I know I'm only trading the pins left here, and when I get new pins, they go into this part. So at the end of your day, you will probably end up with one part that has no pins in it, and that's something that if you buy them throughout the day, you can put those onto there. And so you don't end up trading any of the ones that you just got. You don't end up trading any of your favorite ones. You know how your system is running to where you have a real good knowledge of what you have and what you're looking for. So these are perfect. And then when I go back to the room at night, I will take these pins out, all the new ones that I got, and I will put them into one of my bigger books because I will take it completely empty. And it will just be ready to go for my new pins that I just got. And then if you have multiples of these pen trading books, whatever outfit you're wearing for the next day is the one that you can take with you to be able to do your pen trading with. So after I get back to the room, I take out all the pens I just got, put them into the other book. Before I go, I will take the big book empty. And I actually have 4 of these small pen books. I actually have 4 of these. And so I fill these up on the inside only with the trader pens that I plan to trade while I'm there. And so these will be full of just trader pens. And so as you can see, like, I don't know for sure that these are actual traders. Yeah, they are. So I have duplicates. These are duplicates of all the ones that I already have. And so this book is one that I would use as my trader. Now, I actually just have this on here because I think it's cute with this book. But this is actually one that I would not trade, like these pens. They're just on here for display purposes. So when I use this pen book, I don't use the front. I just use the inside. So I would fill up just one side with my traders, and I would leave one side empty. And then as I trade my traders, I would put my new ones on the other page. So that's just another way that you can do it. If you have pens that you always want to keep with you to display, you can do that as well. But I'm always that person that wants to have a lot of extra pens with me just in case the day is popping and you are finding pens left and right that you want to trade. I want to make sure I always have traders with me that I'm willing to part with, that I don't have to give up my new ones that I just got to get something else. So that's just kind of the way that I operate. But I do have 4 of these. And I take them all. I take them all with me because over the years, I have collected so many pens that I have enough that I can fill these with for my traders. And I don't tend to collect a whole lot of collections. I tend to mainly collect more of like the parks and the attractions and the different festivals and things like that. I love to collect those. A lot of people don't really want dated pins, but I'm okay with that. Like, I don't mind the dated pins because it reminds me of like when we were there. So yeah, so anyway, this is the way that I do mine. Now, a lot of people do them all completely different, and that is totally up to you. There is another big company out there that does the pen trading books that a lot of people love, but I just want to tell you about my experience with them. So there's another company out there. It's called Crack and Trade. And they do go to like these pen trading like festival. They're not festivals. They're like kind of like Comic-Con type things to where they're set up for like pen trading. And they have them out in California, I know, and I'm sure there's some all over the other places too. But they set up like a booth there and they will have things with them. They have a pen trading book. They have a lot of different ones, just like Penfolio does. And they are pretty well known in the pen trading area. And I ordered from them. So I knew that we were going to be going in August, and it was the first time that I really wanted to do big time pen trading. I'm talking 2 days during our stay, just park hopping, resort hopping, going to Disney Springs, like in and out all of the different areas, just for pen trading, just for trying treats at different places, eating different places we had never been, that kind of deal. So I knew I wanted one of the big books to take with me. So I had all of my pens ready to go, hundreds of them, because like I said, we've been doing this for years. So I wanted the big pen book, and I also wanted the crossbody book that they had. And I actually have a crossbody bag. It's right here. So I knew I wanted this bag, which is, going to be a pretty nice bag for collecting and carrying. And it's going to make it easier to carry because it's padded and the straps are nice and wide and everything. And this is by Kraken Trade. So it says Kraken right there. So I knew I wanted this bag. I knew we were going in August. So I actually placed this order in January. Okay. So in January, I ordered it, was getting ready, had everything ready to go, ready to be put into this bag. And like I said, we're going in August. So January, February, March, every month at the end of the month, I would contact them. They have a website. They have a customer service little chat button. I would click it. I would put my order number in, my name in, and I would say, I'm checking on my order. And they were like, yes, we're getting it together. We have a lot of orders, so it'll be going out real soon. Every month I did that. Come the beginning of July, I was like, listen, I ordered this in January. I've been getting the same go around every single month, and I'm not receiving anything. They were like, we have your package ready. Like, we're shipping it out. Great. That's great, because we're leaving next month and I need to get all this together because I pack early for everything. I'm one of these that thankfully does everything super early to where I thought I would have this all together. My order comes in. The box is open. I only get this. I had ordered this bag, the big book, the inside part of this, and an extra padding. Didn't get any of it. Only got this. So I was like, whoa, hold on a minute. So I emailed or sent a chat back, and I was like, hey, I can send you a picture. This box came completely open. I got this one item in here. Like, I don't have the interior part of this to be able to put the pins in. I didn't get the big book. I didn't get the pink front. I didn't get any of the other stuff I was supposed to get. What is going on? And so they were like, oh my gosh, okay, well, we're going to like ship this back out to you. So I'm like, okay, whatever I need to do, insurance claim, whatever for shipping, and they're like, no, don't worry about it. We'll get it to you. Well, this is supposed to be a really nice thing. It has Velcro right here, and you can Velcro in what is like the inside of a binder, and then each one of those pages will unclip and you can add pages into it. And I was like, that's what I want. Like, I want to be able to add a couple of pages into this to where I can have them plus a divider, and my pens will be in there and they won't touch. It'll be perfect. I'll be able to put a bunch in here, and this will be great because I can have pens here and I can have the inside with 2 pages in there and a divider, and it'll be perfect. Well, needless to say, that package never showed up. So just before the trip, I ended up going on Amazon and I saw that they had the Penfolio brand. So I ordered the large Penfolio book and got it in like 3 days. I loved it. It worked. It was doing what I needed it to do. So I ordered the next size down. It was great. It held a whole bunch of them. And then I turned around and ordered the small ones. So I was able to put all of my pens in there and everything. It was great. I was still determined, because I had paid for this complete order from Kraken Trade. So I was still determined to get all of my stuff from Kraken Trade. So they sent me a message, or I sent them a message and said I never got it. I'm getting ready to leave. And, I just need to cancel my order at this point, and I'll just send this piece back because I don't have the inside piece. This isn't going to do me much good for pen trading because all I have is this little bitty piece right here. That's not going to hold very much. They don't respond. So they don't respond. I go on my trip, come back, message them, and I'm like, hey, I already went on my trip. I never got it, so I need to get a refund and send this back. Never got an answer. So this kept going on and on and on. January, 1 year later, I'm still messaging them every month. Like, still, what is going on? Calling, no answer. Email, no answer. Chat, no answer. Nothing. So 1 year later, I finally get somebody to answer, and they're like, we are sorry that this has happened to you. We're going to send you out a box, and we're going to give you a refund. And I'm like, okay, I mean, I don't really need the books now. I just, if I can just get a refund, I'll send you this piece back. They're like, no, keep that piece. We're sending you a box. In that box, I get this one. and it's the turtle shell. I think that's what they call it. It's round. It has the big piece in the front. There's nothing inside it, though, to help you to add pins. You just get this one round piece in here. Nothing else. None of the stuff that I had ordered. Nothing else in there. Just this. And I was like, thank you. I really, you know, I really needed those other pieces, though, because I have this book that I can't use. And they're like, sorry. Okay, so what do you want me to do with this other one? No response. So I thought, well, okay, you know, worst case scenario, I can use this to put stuff in for the parks, and I can just have this one little round area for trading, and we'll use it. I turn it around, and it's ripped up. It's torn. The stuff is barely hanging on there. Like, it's just not good. Not good at all. I am so disappointed by the stuff. I was just like, I can't take my pins in this, because if this is already ripping and tearing, what's going to happen when I add the weight of those pins and my phone and my battery pack and, you know, my ID and all that stuff, money that I need for the parks? It's just going to be a nightmare. So this just lives in a closet now. And this is what I ended up getting from Crack and Trade. I would love to have their big book. I would love to have the piece that goes in here. But I just can't recommend them because the customer service has just been not great. Not great at all, in my opinion. So, Pinfolio, I have actually talked to them. I have talked to people from the company there. I ended up having issues with one of these little books catching on the side on the front. It didn't tear. It was just catching in the corner. And they were super nice, and they were like, hey, we're sending you another one. They sent me a new one and replaced it. No issues whatsoever. I questioned about, like, the way that the vinyl was on it, like what I needed to do to make sure it stayed in great shape. Their answer was, if you have any problems, let us know. We'll take care of it. No issues whatsoever. So I do know that Pinfolio had, or hopefully still has, I haven't been there to see, a actual store in Orlando. So if you're going to Disney and you would like to see their stuff in person, they did have a storefront. I'm hoping they still do. I didn't check it before doing this video. But they actually had to where you could go in and trade pins. You can buy pins. You can buy their books and their bags. And I highly recommend it. I do. I have seen the new ones that Disney has in their parks. The quality on some of those are not great. I do not recommend getting any pin trading books or ears or bags or anything that has the holes on it to where you just put the pin in and they're not protected on the front, because we have lost pins like that. You will ruin pins like that as well. So just know that if you get those bags or those books or anything that are like the faux leather that has the little holes that goes all the way through it, and you can put your pins on it, or putting them on a lanyard, or putting them on a backpack or anything like that, if you rub up against anything, or for some reason your pin back becomes to where it is not on there like it is supposed to be, your pin is gone and you will not know it until it is too late. So I don't recommend buying anything like that. So I really, really, really want to be able to recommend Crack and Trade. I can't. I just absolutely can't. I'm still holding on to these pieces. In theory, I know I'm holding on to these pieces thinking that eventually I will be able to correct this and be able to use these actual items and love them. But it has actually been 2 years now since, it's been over 2 years since this all started, and nothing. So yeah, I gave up. So yeah, so if you're thinking about pin trading or you want to get into it or anything like that, I'm more than happy to answer any questions. I'm definitely not a pro at it. I just love to do it for the fun. I love it because it is basically what I call a free day. You're still going to have to pay for your foods and things like that, but you can definitely go into Disney Springs and hop on the friendship boats or hop on their buses and go to the different resorts to do your pin trading. Just know if you don't have a park ticket for that day, you can't go into the parks to pin trade. And I would not do that anyway. I mean, if you're there with some downtime or you're already shopping, make sure that you check out the pin trading areas while you're in the parks. But for just having pin trading days, for days that you're there, maybe you have a 4-day park pass and you're actually going to be there for 6. So maybe the day you fly in, you go to the outlet malls and go to the Character Warehouse. They actually have pin boards there, so you can take your pins with you and do some pin trading while you're there. That's where you can also buy some of your pins to start with. But you can also use those days that after you get checked into your hotel and you still want something to do, you can go to Disney Springs and go around there and do some pin trading. You can go ahead and do some of the resort hopping and stuff like that. The resorts usually keep their pin boards out until around 7 p.m., maybe a little bit later. If you're a cast member and you know the answer to that, please leave us a comment. Let us know when the pin boards are put up. I do know at Disney Springs, they were not putting the pin boards out until around 11 a.m. Some of them will put them out earlier. And if they're not real busy, you can usually ask, and sometimes they can get them out for you earlier. But yeah, I mean, pin trading is kind of one of those what I call free days. And it's because if you already have your pins, then it doesn't cost anything to pin trade. They will actually have some that are secret games that you can play as well. Just know that if they tell you upfront that you have to trade a pin and you play that game, if it is a fake pin or is it a pin that you don't like, you still have to trade no matter what. So don't play that game unless you know you have a pin that you absolutely hate in your collection that you want to get rid of, because sometimes the outcome of that is terrible. And so the rest of the pin trading is you see them on a board, you tell the cast member which ones that you want to trade, you can trade two, you hand them a pin, they hand you a pin. There's also some boxes that they have where you pick numbers and you can pick two numbers and you can see what's in those, but you do not have to trade those. So do not trade a great pin for a less quality pin or one that you don't love or want to add to your collection. Just tell them no thank you and you can leave. And then sometimes they will actually have some games. So you can ask them if they have any trivia pins. And the trivia pins are where they will ask you a question that is related to Disney or Pixar or Star Wars, Marvel, any of that kind of stuff. And you can answer the question. And if you get it right, you can trade for one of the pins that they have. And if you don't get it right, well, you just move on. So anyway, is pin trading something that you do? Is it something that you are thinking about doing? Leave a comment and let us know. And with that being said, have a wonderful day. And remember, we love you.